What's up, guys? So this is going to be an all-new segment that we're going to have. Basically, it's going to be called Crackin' a Cold One with the Boys. You're going to get an in-depth look of like each one of us, basically, and new people every time. So hopefully you guys enjoy.
So I drive a 2010 Infiniti G37S on airlift suspension. What I like about it is that it's an Infiniti, and I think they're a lot cooler than Nissans. I did a lot of test driving before I bought the car. I think Infiniti is just a little bit nicer to drive. I've never actually had a car before, and I've always had trucks, Chevy, Dodge, Ford, and everyone's like, why do you go to a car? And I'm like, well, I just kind of fell in love with the look of Nissans, Infinitis, low profile, coupe, things like that. And once I got behind the wheel of them, I just, fell in love. And love about the car, obviously they're pretty quick, naturally aspirated V6. It's still, obviously it's not a V8, it's not turbo, but it gets up for naturally aspirated. There's a huge aftermarket for Infiniti Nissan. A lot of the parts are interchangeable. So it's easy to mod if you wanted to do performance or if you want to go for looks or things like that. The airbags, a lot of people ask me about the airbags. People like around town think they're hydraulics, which I think is hilarious. A lot of the car guys ask me how it rides. It actually rides phenomenally. I have a friend with a 350Z that has coilovers and it rides like it's on bricks, and my airbags feel like I'm riding on clouds. And a lot of people like the trunk setup I have going on. I just got the air tank and the compressors next to each other with the hardwood floor. It's kind of a look right now. Probably going to redo that in the future though. But yeah, 2010 Infiniti G37S. Love that thing. So what my dream car is? So my dream car was actually a Cadillac CTS-V. Again, I kind of prefer the luxury versions of things. So instead of Chevy, I wanted Cadillac. And then, who doesn't love a supercharged LS? And I wanted one forever. I actually wanted the wagon. I think the wagons look like incredible. A lot of people don't like wagons in general, but I just like that. I don't know. I think that's my thing, is wagons. But I actually, now I'd probably say like a more realistic dream car, like maybe after my Infiniti, the 37 would actually probably be like a Q50 or Q60. Seeing those around and seeing them a lot more at like meets and shows and things, and I love the look of them. The big grille. It's a sedan, but I just think they look badass either way. And a lot of people are getting into modding them now too, which I think is awesome. There's not a ton of parts out on the market, but people are getting into like bags and wide bodies and things. And, like they just look phenomenal. And I still think CTS-Vs are cool, but if it were to be between like a Q50, Q60 and a CTS-V, I'd probably go the Infiniti route. If I'm talking about like a dream car that's a little bit less easy to obtain, that'd probably be GTR. Like I was saying earlier, I kind of caught the bug for VQ and Infiniti and Nissan and everything like that. So if I were to get something like pretty expensive, it'd probably be GTR. Everybody would probably say like Lamborghini, Ferrari, but GTR. If we're talking about like a supercar, probably McLaren. Handling gods and things like that. So drag and drift, okay. So drag, if I were to have a preference, like if I were to do it myself, I would probably choose drag. Just because when I started with my trucks, I kind of got familiar with like building engines and speed parts and things like that. So I have like a basic knowledge on that. Whereas like the car scene, there's a lot to learn about suspension and whatnot specific to like drifting. So I think myself, I'd be a little bit more equipped to drag my own car. If I were to have a drag car and build a drag car, it'd probably be a Corvette, just because it's kind of meant to be a drag car. LS based, super sleek. You can put fat tires in the rear and be ready to go. Any year, I kind of like the late 90s, early 2000s. I like that body style. Obviously, if I'm going big, brand new C7, that'd be pretty cool. And anything LS based is awesome for V8s. And if I were to drift a car, it'll be a Lexus, just because everyone's gonna say Supra. I like Supras. Supras are cool. A lot of people do them though. I don't see a lot of drift Lexuses, especially because you have the 2J. You know, that's basically all you need, twin turbo 2J, and then millions of suspension, welded diff, that kind of thing. I'm not that into drifting. Justin knows why. But practicing drifting in like the empty parking lots and things like that, it's pretty fun. I definitely have a lot to learn on handling cars for drifting and things like that. So I would choose drag Corvette, and if I were to go down the path of drifting, probably I would say Lexus, like SC300. But really anything 2J twin turbo, that'd be pretty sick. What got me into the car scene was Dust Motorsports, which you're watching this video on right now. Justin was always into the cars, putting on car meets, things like that. And like I said, I always had my trucks, and I would show up to the car meets in my truck, and it'd be me and maybe like 3 other truck guys. And slowly, I just started like growing an appreciation for cars, and seeing everybody's builds. Nothing like wild that you see on TV or Instagram, but like seeing like actual people in real life. Like these are people my age building these cars, and there's some pretty freaking cool cars in our area. Obviously, Instagram has had a huge influence on me too. All the cars Dust Motorsports posts, and I started following pages, and then, like I had touched on earlier, that's kind of how I started showing an interest in Nissan and Infiniti. Whatever the reason, I just decided to gravitate towards those cars more. And another thing too is I've done the whole lifted truck thing. I've done a lot with that. It kind of seemed cookie cutter to some extent. Like you lift a truck, you put nice rims on it, put big tires, you're done. But the car scene, I feel like there's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more to mod. Like one of my hobbies still is custom car audio, and seeing there's a lot more to be done with a car. I feel like there's a lot more beauty in cars than like a truck is supposed to be like rugged and like a work truck or something like that. But cars, there's a style to it. So that's kind of what got me into the car scene. I should have just killed it at that point. Thanks. So, what is my skill? So, car audio is like I said, like the thing I like to do. That's one of those things I really don't know where the heck it came from. I've always liked to build things, but of all things to build, like I kind of lean towards car audio. I guess I worked at Best Buy for a little bit, and I did some work in the car audio department, and a lot of customers came in and they had like some pretty like cool systems already. And I've always liked like music, and then once I got my first subwoofer, I started to liking the bass like a lot, like powerful music and stuff. And then when I wanted to do my own big systems, I went around to different shops, and they wanted thousands of dollars to build like a subwoofer box and all these different enclosures and things like that. So I said, I could put my building skills towards this. And then I started getting interested in it, going on forums and things like that, and learning the science behind building boxes, and then learning like the actual fabrication techniques, the fiberglass, doing the router work, like the design element, like all the electrical, lighting, all that sort of thing. And then basically when I got my car, that was my first like big fiberglass project I did. I built 2 corner boxes. Technically I'm still working on them, but I got like the basics there, and I'm working on like making it beautiful. So that's my skill like with cars, and that's the thing I like to do most. I do a lot of other people's builds too. So if you want to build done, my Instagram's right here. Hit me up. We'll do some fiberglass work. And then I think it's just awesome. Like that's something that like not a lot of people have in their cars. It's like you could have, your car modded everywhere. Everything is modded, but when you open the trunk, it's just a trunk. Not a lot of people have like this badass trunk setup with your amps, your airbags, your subs, fiberglass here, there, vinyl wrapped, all that kind of thing. So that's something I like to do, and it also stands out quite a bit from the crowd. So in about 5 years, hopefully I'll have a new car, like a cooler car. Like maybe, like I said, maybe a Q50, Q60 or something like that. In 5 years, it'd be cool to have my own job, aside from like construction and fabrication and whatnot, doing like either car audio or like car modifications. That's actually what my dad does. He owns a shop for like trucks, doing like big lift kits and stuff, and I go help out with trucks. It would be awesome to do my own thing, you know. Like there's a few local shops, they just install parts. Like they sell the parts, they install them like aero, body kits, bags, suspension, and then I want to do the car audio thing on my own. That'd be pretty cool. And then, you know, I could do my build, and that would represent my work and my products. And then the goal would be to take my car to SEMA, because ever since I was a little kid, my dad had a truck, his own truck, that he took to SEMA for 5 years. And I always have been competitive with my dad. I told him I was gonna have a bigger truck. I told him I was gonna have a faster car. I told him all this. I wanna have this car that I could take to SEMA for at least 5 years, just so I could beat my dad, because I'm petty like that.
Hey guys, thank you for watching the first episode of Crackin' a Cold One with the Boys. Now be sure to subscribe below and also like this video.
Don't forget to leave a comment too, telling us what you think, telling us what we could do better for future episodes.
We're going to be getting a new person every single week, hopefully, and hopefully their car in here as well. And also, don't forget, on Instagram, if you want to tag us or anything like that, at Dusk Motorsports, or if you want to tag Tyler, at tloud_131. Now, we're doing a huge giveaway. You spend $10 on our website.
$10?
Just $10.
I already did it.
Yeah, he actually already did it. He bought the Dusk Motorsports Bay Area shirt. Now, $10 will actually get you an Xbox One S. Now, you get an entry. We have to have 50 entries, and we're going to raffle one off. Basically a giveaway. Now, with this extra money that we're going to have, we want to do more giveaways. We want to do one like every other month if we can. So any extra money we get from this is going to go right back to you guys. Once again, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.